This is a 1 in a billion chance. But there are some incredibly rare moments in the NBA, like the most insane game winner. One of the most impossible dribbles.
LeBron tries in. Oh my!
Everything you see in this video is exceptionally rare. First, we've got Austin Reeves making a last-second shot that stunned everyone.
End to the second quarter, and the Lakers back up by 10. Let's go to Lisa.
He came in, nailed that three-pointer, and even hit a fan. That's a 1 in a trillion moment. JaVale McGee pulled off one of the rarest blocks you'll ever see when he swatted the ball with one hand.
Oh, McGee just grabs it.
I told you, he's fun to watch.
What a block.
Andrew Wiggins pulled up from the wing and made an unbelievable shot.
Draymond slips the screen. Wiggins from the wing. Oh, it did a victory lap.
LeBron has had some of the most extraordinary moments ever, but I've never seen him just stand there while cheerleaders danced around him. It almost looks like his controller died. Meanwhile, Indiana Pacer fans had their own wild moment when a bat flew into the arena and no one could catch it.
Is that a bat? And guys, everybody's a little leery.
Yeah, everybody is. You can see it right there flying across the floor. Where's Boomer?
At just 6 feet 2 inches, Gary Payton went up for a jump ball against the 7'1" Jonas Valanciunas and pulled off this move.
Kane Fitzgerald throws it high enough. Payton has great vertical. Look at Payton trying to move his hand. And Payton won it. GP2, young glove. He was excited about that one too.
I'd be thrilled too if I outjumped a giant, but I wouldn't be too happy about what Jeff Green did. He actually dunked the ball on his own head.
Because that's going to be important.
Doc saying that went in and hit one of the Knicks players on the head.
The guy gave himself a facial. You don't see that every day. And you also don't see shots like Corey Brewer's. After getting fouled by a defender, he took a shot from behind the backboard, and this happened.
Allison waiting to check in for Oklahoma City. Brewer hits the deck, and they're going to count that basket.
That guy's lucky the backboard is on his side, because it definitely isn't a fan of Danny Green. Green took a three-pointer that bounced around the rim and ended up sitting on top of the basket. I'm not sure how that even happens. Meanwhile, Spencer Dinwiddie tried to tip a loose ball to a teammate and ended up scoring by accident.
Tipped out again and up and in by Dinwiddie.
Of course, he played for the Wizards and knows a bit about magic, but this commentator had a talent for ruining clutch moments, as he mistook an air ball from Trevor Ariza for a game-winning three.
Beal driving, kicks it out. Ariza, baseline, dagger!
Wow.
Ariza from the baseline for three, and the Wizards with a miraculous comeback in Washington. They're saying it did not go.
Okay.
Well, from our angle, it looked like it dropped straight through, but clearly.
I have to admit, I thought that shot went in too. And I used to think Russell Westbrook was just a basketball player, but it turns out he has another role, mopping the court during his own game.
Situations offensively, as Russ is
It's
doing a
just
little
like,
bit of house cleaning.
you know what? If you want the job done right, reminds me of the All-Star game in New York a couple years ago, where he did.
Now we need to discuss Marc Gasol, because he managed to knock Clint Capella's shoe right off the court.
Clint Capella loses his shoe.
And technical foul called on Marc Gasol for kicking the shoe.
That referee is really off his game, but honestly, all the refs seem to be. This one even ejected Anthony Davis just for tying his shoes.
I don't understand how you can lose your shoe. They don't strap him up very tight.
Oh, AD's been tossed. He's out of the game. They let him play on before AD could put the shoe on.
What does the ref expect him to do? Play barefoot? I'm not sure, but I do know that James Harden ended up playing on one foot. After injuring his ankle, he took one of the most unusual looking free throws ever. I wouldn't advise shooting like this guy though. He actually pulled up from behind the backboard.
Meeks on the drive, looking to draw contact, and it counted at one.
I'd challenge him to make that shot again, but I wouldn't challenge anyone to pull off a play like this. Najee Marshall made one of the worst passes I've ever seen.
Wes has gotten 17 minutes off the bench. What in the heck?
Tony Allen went for a layup and ended up getting the ball stuck on the ramp.
The roll, the follow. What's it gonna do? What's it gonna do? It's gonna stick.
The ball essentially stopped being a ball in the middle of the play. While getting a layup stuck is uncommon, having an alley-oop get stuck is unheard of.
6.8 rebounds, 4.7 assists per game. Lob it up. Dunk attempt, wedgie. That doesn't happen.
You come across something new every day in the NBA. For example, the Raptors once had 2 players block a shot simultaneously.
Tatum! Denied!
The Raptors had me seeing double, but Vince Carter had me seeing triple. He launched a full court shot, and it actually went in.
Last shot here. Vince.
Let's be honest, that shot had no business going in. I'm surprised it even got close. Meanwhile, this pass from Amare Stoudemire missed badly.
Stoudemire throws it to him sitting there courtside.
Who is he even passing to? A ghost? It seems like some NBA players make baffling decisions. Like this guy who tried to check into the game without a jersey.
To be fair, he had been injured. He hadn't played in 3 months, and there was it. When he took off his warm-up, it looked like it came off with it.
What on earth is he thinking? It's probably the same thing DeMar DeRozan is, because this guy passed the ball right to the other team's bench.
35 points in the period as DeRozan throws it away. And this one.
Honestly, that's not even DeRozan's fault. Sure, Joakim Noah was wearing the same colors and trying to trick him, but there's no fooling Steven Adams. This guy can do the unbelievable. One time, he got fouled so hard that he broke his shooting hand, but instead of leaving the game, he walked up to the free throw line and gave it his all.
Cheering him on. He wants to stay in the game. How about that?
In 2006, David Lee stunned everyone. With just 0.1 seconds left in the second overtime, the Knicks were tied with the Bobcats at 109. 109 when suddenly,
As they throw it at the basket.
he made it just in time, proving that in the NBA, everything can shift in the blink of an eye. The Nuggets mascot learned this the hard way when he tried to dunk off a trampoline to impress the crowd. And suddenly, Mutombo is a real menace. He even threw the ball at him, which is basically assault. But we have one final moment that shocked everyone. A time when a Kings fan sitting courtside got so drunk that he ended up stinking up the entire arena.
Man, they must have spilled a keg over there or something. I don't know what happened.
Man, I think there's a reason why. Man, you're holding your nose. Oh, boy.
The commentator was spot on. He really messed up. That's definitely a fail. There are unlucky moments in the NBA, and then there are even worse ones, like missing a game-winning shot by just an inch or celebrating a bit too early. This video highlights some of those unfortunate moments. For example, all New Orleans needed was one defensive stop to win, but instead, a player accidentally tipped the ball into his own team's basket.
Incredible. That might be one of the most unbelievable things I've seen.
Goran Dragic was on defense when the ball took an unfortunate bounce.
Step forward. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
This fan decided to propose to his girlfriend in front of thousands of people, but things didn't go as planned. First, she tried to lean in and tell him it wasn't the right time. Then, she just ran off, leaving the poor guy on center court doing the walk of shame with a mascot. If that's not unlucky, I don't know what is. And even Michael Jordan, the GOAT who rarely makes mistakes, has had his share of bad luck, like the time he went for a layup and the ball got stuck.
Oh, look at
this! In this play, not only does Steven Adams get scored on by the player he was guarding, but the ball also ended up in the most unfortunate spot after going in. Luckily, it didn't cost him the game, because with just 1 second left and the Heat down by 3, Bam Adebayo got the ball and tossed up a prayer.
There's the miss.
Oh, wow.
That ball was just inches away from being the luckiest shot ever, but Glenn Davis was inches away from seriously hurting someone. He chased after a loose ball and ended up crashing into some fans. Imagine paying a ton of money for those seats, only to get flattened by a 300-pound player. Now, that's unlucky, but some fans have it even worse. Like this girl who bought courtside seats only to find herself sitting behind the tallest guy in the league, 7'6" Taco Fall. Seriously, either get her a booster seat or give her a refund. This is ridiculous. And speaking of ridiculous, James Harden once made a dunk that the refs didn't even count.
Oh, he missed it! No, that was good.
As the game was winding down, the Hawks needed a bucket to secure the win. But when Trae Young went to score, the ball got stuck on the rim. His teammates couldn't believe it. And speaking of disbelief, you won't believe what a referee did to Steph Curry. It was a perfect pass if the target was his face. Then there's Kemba Walker, who pulled up from 3 and started celebrating a bit too early. Honestly, I would have been dancing too. It looked like it was going in, and I could have sworn Baron Davis won the game for the Hornets with a buzzer-beating 3, but the refs ended up calling it off.
Davis at the buzzer. No, it's waved off. Bernie Fryer says no, it will not count.
That ref must have been watching a completely different game because that shot should have counted. And speaking of shots that should have counted for something, this next one really should have. A fan had the chance to win 6 months of rent paid, and then this happened.
3, 2, 1. Oh, man.
I guess he's stuck paying that mortgage because this guy was left scratching his head after his free throw touched every part of the rim and somehow didn't go in. What more can you do? It was in twice and still missed. Sometimes, it's just not meant to be. Just ask Kevin Durant. The Nets needed a three-pointer to win the Eastern Conference semifinals, and when KD took his shot, he needed to be behind the three-point line. But instead, he stepped on it. So instead of winning the game, Brooklyn tied it and sent it to overtime, where they ended up losing. They were one pinky toe away from winning the series. That's a total bummer. But this next moment is just painful. Jalen Brunson got karate chopped by his own teammate.
Ooh, and a shot to the face of Brunson.
This Warriors fan was sitting courtside and ended up right in the splash zone. Blake knew exactly what he was doing, but karma caught up with him in Brooklyn when he ran into a brick wall, his own teammate.
Extra feet. Oh, wow. 2 Nets go down.
Blake, the guy was standing right in front of you, and you still ran into him. Come on, man. And speaking of common sense, this referee could have used some too. He got steamrolled by Devin Booker.
They want to be in the very near future.
All right, K-Ray. Booker making the steal, goes down hard, and he's still on the floor.
It seemed like Booker took the hit worse than the ref, but Sam Decker had it even rougher. He was gearing up for a wide-open dunk and ended up taking a seriously unlucky fall.
Was measuring his steps and everything, man. Yeah, there we go. But the ball hit him in the face twice. No, once. Just once.
Anthony Davis got caught slipping as well when he almost got injured by a mop.
AD, look out below. Finger roll. He was almost off balance when he left.
Yeah, and he slipped on the mop down there.
Things aren't looking good. Anthony might miss 3 months after that. Meanwhile, this fan is missing their beer because Kyle Lowry accidentally knocked it out of their hands.
Falling in that front row, the fans covered. Oh.
When Kyle Lowry is falling into your lap, you better move quickly, just like Carmelo Anthony did. With only 6 seconds left, he had to launch a shot to try to win the game. But this happened.
Anthony puts up a 3, in and out.
During a jump ball, Darko Milicic accidentally put the ball into his own basket.
Tapped up and in. After the jump ball with Darko Milicic.
The man was shocked, and so was Ken Bazemore. Even though he blocked Kyle Lowry's shot, the ball still went in.
Pick by Lowry. Steps back to block it and drops it.
Piling up the blocks. Here's Baze flying through the air. Ends it.
and then it goes up.
And right in the basket.
In this play, Jeremy Sochan should have been defending his face because he took a bullet pass from Russell Westbrook straight to the dome.
Lonnie was thinking about going a little back door that time for the jam.
In this game, Kobe took a shot that seemed destined to go in. He had the ball halfway down the basket, but it somehow popped out. It's like the basket's cursed or something. But this next moment is so unlucky, it should be in the Hall of Shame. A Sixers fan was chosen to shoot a half-court shot for a prize. And while in the past, some people have won TVs, brand new cars, or even $1 million, look at what this guy ended up winning.
If you make a half-court shot, everyone in here gets a Chick-fil-A biscuit. This is for everybody! 5, 4, 3, 2, oh!
This guy just made one of the toughest shots ever and ended up with a $3 biscuit. I really hope it came with butter because that's rough. But let's move on to the final unlucky moment. During warm-ups, Kevin Durant was messing around and punched a ball into the air. When it came down, it landed in the unluckiest spot.
And it landed on somebody. You just see a bunch of people go surround the guy. And I saw an old man with a veteran's hat on. I'm like, oh, this ain't good. It hit his glasses. It cut the man. Kevin ran to the stands, profusely apologized, left. His security guy came back and apologized and invited the man to come back to the locker room. And when the guy talked to Kevin, he said, look, you better win the game now after doing that.
Kevin gave Grandpa some serious flashbacks with that move. That was a total fail. When Caitlin walked into the Indiana training camp, the excitement was palpable. Everyone turned to look at her, filled with curiosity and hope. People started comparing her to the legendary Larry Bird, highlighting the high expectations and excitement surrounding Caitlin's game. Back in 1979, Larry Bird joined the Boston Celtics right after his college days at Indiana State. Before he arrived, the Celtics had just endured their worst season ever, finishing with a 23-59 record. But Bird's rookie season sparked a dramatic turnaround, with the Celtics achieving a 61-21 record and clinching the Atlantic Division title. This phenomenon became known as the Larry Bird effect. Could Caitlin Clark bring about a similar change for the Fever as Bird did for the Celtics? Last year, the Fever finished with a 13-27 record, and the year before, they had the worst record in the WNBA at 5-31. The potential for transformation is clear. Just as Bird took the Celtics from their worst season to division champions, Clark has the chance to revitalize the Fever. If she can replicate Bird's impact, she might lead the Fever back to playoff contention, something they haven't seen since Tamika Catching's last season in 2016.
That's new to me. I think no matter what is going to happen, there's always going to be expectations and pressure on my shoulders and pressure on this team to be really good, and that's how you want it. That's exactly, we wouldn't want anything else.
The excitement was palpable as the Indiana Fever kicked off their 2024 training camp at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The familiar sounds of sneakers on the court, swishing nets, and teammates communicating filled Salesforce Court as the Fever returned for their first day of on-court action. Most of the team was there, including stars like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, ready for an intense 2-day training camp. Head coach Christy Sides and her coaching staff wasted no time putting the players through their paces, evaluating their skills and chemistry. For Clark, this was her first official practice as a professional player, and she didn't disappoint. She showed the same talent and determination that earned her accolades in college, eager to make her mark in the WNBA. Despite the challenges and whirlwind of recent months, Clark was grateful for the opportunity to be back on the court with her teammates.
I say I'm a pro by any means, but it's been fun. I think it definitely has a big city feel, but at the same time, it feels small and it's easy to get around. I mean, I'm staying mostly in downtown Indianapolis. I'm not driving everywhere yet.
As the Fever geared up for their preseason games, Clark felt the pressure and excitement of playing at the professional level. She seemed ready to see what the team could achieve, confident in their abilities. Caitlin Clark is set to make her WNBA debut with the Fever in the third week of May. but she wants to remind everyone that she's human, not a magician. As the top pick in a highly anticipated WNBA draft class, the weight of expectations is heavy, but she's handling it well. She's urged people not to expect miracles right away, emphasizing the importance of giving herself grace as she transitions to the pros. Clark acknowledges that perfection isn't realistic and that there will be challenges. She's not aiming to score 40 points per game from the start. Instead, she plans to learn from her teammates, enjoy the journey, and stay true to herself. The excitement around Caitlin is so strong that even her workout sessions have become viral sensations. During her first Indiana Fever workout on Tuesday, a 15-second clip of her shooting around quickly gained traction online. As the #1 pick in the recent WNBA draft, Clark showed her skills by going a perfect 5 for 5 in the video. This impressive performance follows her remarkable college career, where she became the NCAA's all-time leading scorer with 3,951 points at Iowa. Fever's training camp has captivated fans more than ever. During a scrimmage, Caitlin impressed everyone by dribbling past a male player and nailing a three-pointer. A fan posted a video of the play online, dubbing it, "Caitlin Clark broke his ankle." Due to how she faked out her opponent, teammate Erica Wheeler cheered her on with a playful "bye-bye boy" as the guy tried to keep up and nearly twisted his ankle. Dick's Sporting Goods even chimed in on social media, praising Erica for her support. Erica, who has been playing in the WNBA for 9 years, has been a big fan of Clark's from day one. Despite being a star and the top pick by the Fever from Iowa, Clark is still considered a rookie. Erica noted, "She's one of the best players in the world right now, but she's so humble. She's always asking for advice and trying to improve." Clark understands there's a big difference between college and professional basketball, but she's ready for the challenge. She's excited about the faster pace of the WNBA, saying it suits her style. "The coaches here have been watching me for a while and have some great plays lined up," Clark said. "I feel like I'm in good shape since I just played in the NCAA championship game." She's been keeping busy with basketball and feels confident and ready to make her mark in the WNBA. As Caitlin's fame continues to rise, Indiana is also seeing a boost in new advertising partnerships. The Indiana Fever, influenced by Caitlin Clark's selection, recently signed a major ad deal with Indiana-based pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly. This partnership introduces jersey ads to the WNBA, following a trend seen across various professional sports leagues. Starting the season, Eli Lilly's logo will appear on the left shoulder of Fever jerseys, highlighting the growing collaboration between sports and business in the state. Pacers Sports and Entertainment CEO Rick Fuson expressed excitement about the partnership, emphasizing its potential to bring attention to important issues such as support for female athletes and community health initiatives in Indiana.
E-Dub compared Indiana to Hollywood when we talked to her. I know the excitement has kind of followed you for a little while, but I'm curious your spin on that and Indiana in particular.
I'll agree with E-Dub there, I guess. I don't know.
The excitement surrounding Caitlin Clark is unprecedented, and fans are eager to see her off the court just as much as on it. Fans are gearing up to watch Caitlin Clark make her WNBA debut this Friday, with the Indiana Fever set to take on the Dallas Wings in a preseason game. Despite being an exhibition match, ticket prices have surged, even surpassing those for a crucial NBA playoff game in Clark's new hometown. As of Wednesday afternoon, the cheapest ticket for the Fever vs. Wings game was a whopping $595 on TickPick. Located in Section 209, Row MM at the College Park Center in Arlington, Texas, including all fees. These prices are comparable to many regular season NBA tickets, and notably higher than the entry price for Thursday night's Pacers-Bucks NBA playoff game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, which stood at $36 for the cheapest ticket on TickPick. The high ticket prices for the Fever Wings game can be attributed to the limited seating capacity at the College Park Center which can only accommodate around 7,000 spectators. This situation has prompted several WNBA teams to upgrade their arena arrangements in anticipation of matches against the Indiana Fever. The Fever, in turn, hosted all their games that season at Gainbridge Fieldhouse after previously playing at the smaller Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Other WNBA teams, like the Las Vegas Aces and Washington Mystics, also shifted their home games against the Fever to larger NBA-sized arenas to meet the demand from fans. The WNBA's Dallas Wings experienced a historic moment as they sold out season tickets for the first time in the franchise's history just before their preseason opener against the Indiana Fever on May 3rd. The anticipation surrounding Caitlin Clark's debut with the Fever fueled a surge in ticket demand, driving up sales for the Dallas team. Individual ticket prices for Clark's preseason debut ranged from $210 to $350, with some exceeding $1,000 in certain sections, according to UTA Tickets. The Wings also saw a significant increase in overall ticket sales revenue, with a staggering 220% rise, including an impressive 1,200% surge in individual ticket sales revenue, according to the Dallas Morning News. This surge highlights the profound impact of Clark's presence on both the Fever and the wider WNBA community, sparking unmatched excitement and engagement among fans.